map 1 Protoss start from our hence blue Protoss player in the top left corner of the map. This is Reynor from TvZ Gaming. Like I said, I think he is going to play Zerg for the other maps after this one. Didn't want to play Stargazers as Zerg. It's in the top right-hand side. Our red Terran player from Team Liquid. This is Clem. So, again, first round of the playoffs, kind of rough for these two to end up against each other in the very first round, as we'll see Clem getting his barracks down to start us out here, and we'll see just what these builds are going to look like. We've got our probe coming across the map at the moment to have a little bit of scouting coming in way, and obviously we'll work from there to see what we can do in this best of 5. It's got the indie camera. I've been obviously casting replays a bit the last few days, so not being able to have my indie camera going for the observing. So we'll make full use of it now, guys. Full use of it right now. Let's go. Hey, if it's there, you gotta use it, right? Probe shows up, gonna start harassing this initial SCV. It's just gonna be nibbling away at that. The probe is gonna be pulling down. Of course, Reynor did beat Clem in that ESL Open Cup with Protoss that little while back, a couple months ago now. So his Protoss is very good. I mean, if you somehow haven't heard of the Reynor Protoss phenomenon just yet, yeah, his Protoss is actually really good. It's great, it's strong. It's not a meme when he picks Protoss, and sure his Zerg is stronger, but he genuinely believes on certain maps that his Protoss is better than his Zerg would be, but the map is TvZ favored in favor of the Terran player, which I don't think is that ridiculous of a concept, right? I mean, you know, if you're feeling good enough with a race and you feel like that's enough to overwhelm the map balance, absolutely a pretty cool factor. So Reaper just going across from Clem. I'm going to go see a little bit of what's going on with this Reaper. Obviously get himself a scout off here, try and figure out what is happening as we get this early game set up. And it gets in, obviously no tech here in the main base for him to scout just yet with the Reapers, so that's one thing he'll continue to be looking for. As the Reaper comes back around, just going to get the Stargate down. Nice scout then from the Reaper, being able to see this straight away. And with the Stargate down, we'll see what Reynor wants to play. I feel like Reynor does play a lot of Phoenix usually when he plays Stargate in TVP, so let's see if that is the case here or not. Adept ends up shading by. I'm just going to be seeing the Adept shading again. Gets one shot off on the Reaper so far. I'm just going to be seeing a couple of additional barracks continuing through as the SCVs pull away from the mineral line as well. Reaper is going to try and fight against that Adept initially and see what he can do against it so far. Not too much luck, obviously, but he's going to push it back away out the mineral line, which is nice. Good to clear that area out for yourself, right? Don't have to worry about it so much anymore. So that is definitely a bit of a W. As the Adepts, again, continue to join up together for the moment. I was going to grab that Reaper kill right there as well, so knocking that one down. The Adepts all joining up just over to the side here. Adepts actually going to try and get through for a couple of worker kills, as we do have Phoenix production starting. In the end, we lose an Adept, we've killed a Reaper. It's not exactly being the greatest for the Protoss here. It's not being exactly amazing for Reynor, but absolutely still very doable, right? When I look at this, I have a look at things, I'm like, well, he didn't do a lot of damage straight away. Do you have to do damage straight away? Not really. It's not like he's lost a lot in the process. The Phoenix will just lift the Cyclone here and will not be able to kill this, but can get a few shots on it, which is nice. And maybe you do force some units into the main base to defend, because obviously with a second lift, you could actually kill it. SCV's yet here, and as obviously, oh, well, with the extra Phoenix showing up, he does get a kill. I didn't think about the extra Phoenix showing up. That does get the kill there. SCV's even pulled to repair, so that's actually a pretty big win for Reynor, who is really getting that work account up and running as well. Third base now does start on the in-base location too, so you're going to be playing with that for a little while. Drop an engineering bay to the back of the natural. The Phoenix would like to get into the main and maybe try and get at least further info. If you can find some extra damage, then even better. So, again, still a couple things you can absolutely aim for here. Gonna see these Marines do clean out the Adepts at least. Now we've got a Cyclone that has a lock onto a Phoenix. Good turnaround lift, canceling that lock on and getting reset to go again. So that part of it was very nicely done. As our few Marines continue through. I'm going to actually start seeing from Clem a bit of a push out through the middle of the map. So heading across through the center over to that far left-hand side, and we'll see what we can do with that in the next few moments. See if we can get some damage dealt. Clem's push, definitely scary, right? I mean, it's got those initial upgrades in play. They are very good usually. Let's see, it's got 26 Marines in this. They've got Stim in combat. Of course, there is no medevac support or anything, though, so this is very much so a case of kind of stim in and try and win the game right here now. Super Battery pops. Immortal lasts a while, as we do see the Phoenix getting some lifts on these Marines, which do allow you to kind of kill off a few of them. And that is going to turn out to be a hold, guys. So this is a defense for the moment here from Reynor. He lost the Immortal, but, I mean, now chasing these units down, the Phoenix can get a few more lifts. Yeah, he loses a couple of Phoenix here, unfortunately. That's obviously not really worth the Marines that you kill off. Phoenix are very valuable as he moves into the Colossus. He has pretty much wiped this bio army, and you know what? You look at this right now, and the army supply is absolutely in favor of, well, no one in particular, but there's going to be a teched up Colossus versus Marines, basically. And then the worker count, 61 to 47. Clem is definitely in a little bit of trouble after this. This was definitely not the start he was looking for, and Reynor is opening up in a fantastic way. Found himself in a great spot here in this very first game of, again, this best of 5 in our playoffs of the WardiTV Summer Championship. I'm going to grab a Marauder. Again, just using the Phoenix effectively to get as much done as possible. And again, cut off maybe some of these medevacs and stuff as well, right? If you can cut off some of those, that would be pretty great. You can try and catch this one, which is flying back home as well. Also, would not be bad. Scan those out. Bio units gathering back up as another Phoenix joins the fray. A couple Vikings on the way out on the side of Clem. The Colossi all joining together. We're just going to be seeing our gateways continuing to drop into that main base. At this point, Clem, so I was just going to say, right, we need to slow it down a little bit, right? Get some Vikings up and running. The only thing I'd say for Reynor is I feel like right now, a lot of the time, a 4th base would generally be something that a lot of people would be heading toward. So, without a 4th base really in play, I do worry a little bit, I suppose, that... Yeah, he starts it now. Just one of those things that I feel like could have been a little bit better off, right? As we're just going to be seeing our Adept coming forward, see those Marines sitting on the watchtower. At this stage, the Ghost Academy coming up too. Clem is absolutely getting into all of the valuable bits and pieces that he wants to have here for these later fights. Obviously, hitting EMPs on the Phoenix, fantastic. Hitting EMPs on the Colossus is going to make them much easier to chew through. And that means that Clem's, even though he's been in a little bit of a disadvantage, has definitely drawn himself back into the game. Wouldn't say he's going to end up in too much trouble or anything. So, seeming pretty reasonable for now. So the Zerg start charge through. The Vikings will begin to fight a few of those Phoenix. Taking some hits here as the Zergs are eating a couple of Widow Mine shots. Clem having to kite back into further Widow Mines. Here are the EMPs. Gonna land on the Phoenix. He's got a couple of EMPs still remaining as well. Let's see if we can put them to good use. He's done pretty well with the Vikings, keeping them alive, but there's now these Archons in the front as well. And I actually feel like that might be one of the reasons he might want to try and use a couple of EMPs still, right? Get rid of these Archons quickly. The Phoenix count is continuing to drop. The Prism is low HP. If we could get rid of that, that would also be amazing. That's the last Phoenix now dead. I feel like these Vikings, obviously, they want to get the Colossi, but the Prism would be such a huge grab. That would really take you, just do so much for you, right? Because then you're killing off the reinforcements of this attack. Reynor coming out of this is just not really done enough. And is definitely going to be a little unhappy with how this attack went. He's setting up the Prism play into the main base, which Clem has just spotted with his setting up drop. As we move forward, Stalker's going to start on this Orbital. That Orbital Uh-oh. Orbital, no. Oh my goodness, how's this Orbital still alive? The Zealot's in Clem's main base. He's got a lot going on, so I can understand maybe the lack of repairing, but, I mean, it's still burning down. These Marines came back from the drop to deal with this as well, so they will be finally getting rid of these Zealots. Only a couple of SCVs really died off here. Clem, please repair this Orbital. It's so low. It's, again, still just burning to death at the moment as we reset the workers in the main base. Oh my goodness, that Orbital is actually going to burn down. He just dropped mules here. Oh no, he is repairing. He's got a couple of SCVs in the back now, so he's finally fixed that little problem. That was absolutely starting to be a little bit scary, though. Really felt like he was going to end up losing out on the orbital command, which would have been a little bit silly. Well. Well, that was a little bit of excitement for us all. Clem has gotten to 4 bases. Obviously, playing this, he's ended up with no in-base expand, which is something Terrans usually take. I wonder if he noticed Reynor was playing Protoss straight away. Because obviously usually Terran players just put their CC down next to that in-base and they mine the minerals out while it morphs into an orbital. That is something that Clem will still have access to at some point, but now it's obviously a bit vulnerable to prism drops and stuff, right? So you've got to be at least a little careful about it. Getting towards maxed out armies here, and I've got to say, as the armies get towards maxing out, you got to feel a little bit scared for Reynor, right? I mean, Clem has shown us recently he's got really good later game army control in this matchup as well. There's been a few TVPs where he's just been really good at getting set up in this matchup for sure. So let's find out if Reynor can kind of contest him. I also just say this because we obviously saw Reynor kind of having a bit of a bad fight as well not so long ago. That one on the 4th base of Clem was really not quite what he would have wanted it to be. It was really left a lot to be desired, right? So, yeah. The Vikings grab a Colossus. Super battery active. Archon getting healed up. I'm just going to see Bayou still coming over to this left side now, looking for this base. EMPs are huge. Has been landing those pretty much repeatedly so far. And we'll keep this army low on health, or basically with no shields. That definitely is not fun for the Protoss player, because then you're pretty much going into every single fight at a disadvantage compared to what you should have. DTs show up though, and Clem is going to have to deal with this as we do see the DTs trying to slip on by. A couple of them starting to get through to the other side. I mean, 8 workers go down. It was the initial hit which really hurt. The scan was good, and a couple of them at least do slip away without any further trouble, so moving out of the way there, keeping themselves alive for now. Stalkers blink in, gonna get rid of that Liberator's, just taking that out as well. Just gonna be seeing Zealot picked off once again. Big drop into the natural, so Clem actually gonna hit this in-base expansion. In we go. EMP's the Nexus. You do not want to have a recall here as a response to this. The Archons from the other side not gonna be able to reach anything. The little arms not gonna go far enough to surge power into the enemy. And Clem still dealing with DTs as he's still fighting over here, and actually still doing pretty well for himself. I mean, now he's going to lift up and begin to leave. He's got a couple of Liberators that are just chewing away through units. He doesn't kill anything. He will now start to lose these Liberators, but that was way worse than it should have been for well, that was actually way better than it should have been for Reynor, right? I mean, it felt like those Liberators should have at least found a couple of kills somewhere along the way. Clem really wants to keep in this position. He's at least going to drop on the tower. Still has a chance to drop back into that main. The DT's still causing some chaos. He scans over here to check maybe an army check, because he obviously has a Marine to see the base. Checking how much armies that could be useful information for him. He gets rid of another Colossus. At this point, Colossi are tough to keep alive against this amount of Vikings. We're going to have the Liberators in play as well, which are doing a lot of zoning work. Disruptor shot at least does find a ghost. Disruptors will be probably the most important piece of the puzzle right now for Reynor. We'll have to use those repeatedly. As we do get rid of the turret, and these DTs will continue to deal damage. He's still dealing eco damage on the other side of the map. Still finding some hits. 19 SCVs going down. I mean, Reynor's economy is amazing in comparison to Clem's. We're talking about Clem, who is at 55 to 97 workers. That's a crazy difference. Obviously, Clem has a bit more army supply, but that doesn't matter too much if you're eating disruptor shots. He's also got some Vikings that were just derping out overhead. Zeltzel coming through, Stalks as well. Clem's army is gone, and Clem types GG as Reynor is going to find map 1 of this best of 5. Wow. In the bottom left-hand side, winning the first game as Protoss. This is going to be our red Zerg player from KZ Gaming. It is Reynor. On the top right-hand side, the blue Terran player from Team Liquid is going to be Clem. I do wonder a little bit if he was caught off guard by the pros. Like, thinking about how he expanded, I'm like, well, did he know it was TVP at the start? Otherwise, why not take the in-base? Obviously, the DT harass really started to get a lot of work done. And now Clem has to find his way back in what is at least the matchup, which I think Clem generally does prefer TvZ. So we will see. Obviously, Reynor playing this short map. We'll see if he wants to get Roach aggressive or so. Definitely an option. Definitely something Reynor is not afraid of doing, especially in online cups. Reynor likes to play a lot of... like, cute little kind of Roach attacks and all-ins and just trying to get wins early in the game and stuff. So, of course, playing against Clem, he can never be... You know, can't underestimate your opponent. This is going to be a tough one. He's going to go pool first, which definitely opens up that doorway to further aggression down the line, right? It definitely gives you that option at the very least. So that is, like I say, an option that you will have. I think Reynor's going to have at least a Roach pressure. It doesn't necessarily have to be fully all in, but at least start with a few of these Roaches and just try to put some pressure out, because like I say, I feel like otherwise pool first as well sets you up for it. It just is a way to kind of slow the Terran down and to take away some of the control they'd love to get on a small map like this. We will see. Obviously, the gas is just coming online now, so it'll be a while until we have Roaches. It wouldn't be like a quick 4 Roaches or 5 Roaches or so. It'd have to be something probably a little bit different at the very least here. Lord's still hanging around. Reaper going to be making its way down to the south. So let's get with this SCV as well. Sees a third hatch coming, so that pretty much indicates at least this isn't going to be very aggressive in terms of a follow-up or anything. So that's obviously kind of cute to know. See, everybody's going to hop up, and I can just start to be a little bit aggressive without too many concerns or anything, so should feel pretty good about that. It's going to continue to fight, looking for a Zergling there. Didn't quite find the Zergling, though. Maybe just comes back into the center again. Couple drones still on the way through there. I'm just going to be seeing the Reaper continue to patrol for a little bit. Wait for some Hellions to come join up and see where we go. Like I say, Reynor is not doing anything too crazy at the end of the day now. Just playing that macro game and letting this map, at the moment, like I say, at least pan out. So we'll see what he can do. See how he handles it. Small map, but yeah, clearly not afraid. I mean, Zergs have to have a plan for this map, or at least some map, because there's decent Terra maps just across the board in this map pool. If you don't have a plan for them, then you are just going to be in trouble because, well, like I say, you can't just veto all of them, right? Especially in a best-of-5 situation. Clem wants to get in here, no Ling speed, so he says he can get some damage done. He's not the greatest of first shots, as he does miss the extra drones he was aiming for to line up the splash damage. Good Evo walls to keep the Terran away from the rest of the drones. Ooh, 3 drones killed. Does that Hellion actually get out alive? Yeah? You know what? I don't hate it, you know? Only lost 1 Hellion there, and now he's going to force more units warping into something else that they're not meant to be, right? These are all drones that are not mining in this time. It's minerals being spent that is not ideal. Wait for the Hellions back through into the center. More Hellions getting set up. Just going to see our Stimpak coming through, our Cloak coming in. This Overlord wants to try and make its way To the middle here, just going to be seeing a few Hellions setting up for now. Still waiting for a chance to maybe get back through. Obviously, at the moment defending, but it's such a short map that they can ping back across in an instant if you need them to. So, again, definitely the benefit of the size of the map here. And there we go. The Hellions move out once again. As, yeah, initial Banshees also waiting to kind of get some damage done here, hoping they can find something along the ways. Get rid of an active tumor. Obviously, I mean, that's also useful, right? Anything along those lines can go a long way to helping, so don't mind seeing a little bit of that as the Hellions will fight these Queens with the Banshees. Spore finishes up, allowing the Banshees to now be attacked, and that's where the Banshees are going to try and make that getaway. Just out of here, you know, they don't want to be a part of it, but they actually find themselves a Queen as they just kind of trail forward that little bit. Hellions and the Reaper getting rid of a couple additional creep tumors. Bailey Nest now finishing up. We're going to get rid of a few more drones. 3 workers already going down, make it 4. So 4 workers being killed so far. Now the double Banshee going to continue back onto these Queens for just a little bit longer there. That Banshee is very close to going down, just about gets to live, fortunately. Gain speed coming up again online. Evo Gem is coming through. The Lings are still producing as well. So again, all of this brought in for now. Readying up that Ling Bane Force. I mean, Clem is going to have an upgrade late here. 1-1 is well on the way for him in comparison to Reynor, so that's definitely going to be a pretty hefty bonus. Lings get in though, and that's kind of nasty. Again, short maps so the Hellions can respond and get back home pretty quickly, but few SCVs will go down, and again, it's just a little bit more expensive than what you would have liked it to have been. You see these Marines now in the center, probably going to have to lift up and leave as well without the proper support. Clem does have overall a little tiny supply lead, so that's got to feel pretty good. Obviously, once he hits 1-1 as well, he might be able to really make some decent fights out of all this, so we will see if that turns out to be the case. We're still joined up together, and at the moment, Clem still kind of keeping level with the supply. Reynor has a good economy, mind you, 79 workers, so it is just a little bit of army he's lacking, but he has the workers to essentially mean that he should be able to keep an army resupplied in numbers pretty well. Shouldn't be facing too much trouble when it comes to that kind of idea of, well, just kind of dealing with that, basically. Marine Halbert's pushing this bottom side. We continue to take a few shots. Cannon's going to go rolling in. Halbert's getting struck down. Marine's still pushing forward, and Overseer is just going to get healed back up. So Overseer kept alive as well. Marines down the bottom, just going to see the Ling Bane still setting up as well, wanting to join up here and ready to fight. Clem will maneuver around the map, and you know, we watched Clem play against Solo on this map yesterday when we were casting his group stage game, and he was pretty passive. You know, he was very happy to just sit back on a bunch of bases and just let Solo do a lot of the positioning, let Solo do a lot of the fighting. And Clem was just happy to say, yeah, you attack into me, and I'll, you know, basically be able to manipulate these fights into fights that I actually want to have. And yeah, that's very okay for me. I'm absolutely okay with that. So, yeah, I wonder if Clem maybe has that kind of idea here against Reynor as well once he gets to 4 bases. If he just says, hey, let's slow this down, sit back, maybe drop a little bit, but not try and do too much too crazy. Don't know if I like this from Reynor. The Lings definitely helping him out. I felt like those Banes were never going to connect, but they did find a few Marines at the very least. Queens will push out a little bit more creep spread. More of that pushing through, get a bit of creep down on the bottom side as well, the extra Banes. We're going to be finishing. Widow Mine's going to move on forward as we do have Banes crashing into both those mines there so far. Lings taking some shots, Banes coming through. As the Marines continue to pull back. And Marines up on the top side will get set to go again. Lucky Den coming in. Again, just going to be seeing these Marines pulling back from the medevacs. For the moment, at least. And drop a hatchery down on that bottom right-hand side as well. Viper coming through. Clem still focusing around that upper left side. As Lurkers come online, you got to start feeling a little bit better for Reynor as well. He's definitely going to get to survive to that kind of awesome stage. Where's Clem when it comes to Ghosts? I mean, right now they don't exist. He was very late to get to Ghosts yesterday as well against Solar, right? Like, he just didn't really have them straight away on this map, despite kind of setting up to play a longer game. I guess let's see if we can find some of these Ghosts soon, because once Lurkers are coming out, and especially with more Vipers coming into play, it definitely feels like that's just something which is needed more so than, you know, nice to have. Try and let the Widow Mines do some of the work here as Clem gets pushed back a little bit. Oh, Widow Mines getting burrowed, but really just not finding much love at all. Not being able to achieve much so far, unfortunately. I'm just still fighting this position. I mean, at this point, mine's still being made. Nice against the Ling Bane portion, but against Hydras in general, Widow Mines just don't do very well or as well. So this really is more so about kind of working against the Ling Bane portion of what's up than anything else. And we do now have some Ghosts on the way. I do feel like they were needed. Lurkers are going to be on the field very soon. And without Lurkers, you are absolutely going to be in trouble here, so... Obeyed around the side, Widow Mines. And commit through once again. These Banes have been kind of all over the place here, and have been doing a lot of running around and just kind of tanking damage. Unfortunately, that's maybe not the most ideal way of playing Banelings, and ends up losing a few. Bank's still decent from Reynor, but he only has one Baneling left in this army right now, which surely cannot be good. That's gotta mean some kind of trouble, right? Bank's still pushing up, Io pulling away. He come down this left-hand side now, then going to try and take down Queens for a few moments as well. We've seen another round of Baneling set up. Both players are max. Clem's bank is fairly low, obviously not really sitting with much in the bank, but able to rely a little bit on just what he's mining as he goes. This is where Reynor would love to crash down a base or two right away and also take a decent fight, because then Clem will struggle to rebuild. That's exactly when Clem has the worst time. Those Widow Mines obviously all just burrowed together, so that's actually a great start of this fight from Reynor. Even though one did get to go off, they could have been just so much better. So many Banes getting so much value all at once there. Reynor's actually continuing to push on through here. Is Clem going to be okay to defend this? Got some extra Ghosts coming in from that high ground natural. Don't even know if he necessarily needs some snipes here. I guess he may as well clean out Hydras as quickly as possible. Yeah, looks like Clem's going to be okay, and most importantly, isn't really losing any economy, right? Has not really lost any SCVs during this, 3 of them. It's just a few Queens out to the left side, so they go down pretty quick. Reynor rebuilding pretty much straight away off of his 97 drone economy. Clem will scan. Just clean out a little bit more creep spread here in the center. And really, again, open the chance to get on top of Reynor's bases. That's going to be Reynor in a little bit of trouble in that regard, because now Clem, on what is already a short map, is going to be able to just show up on top of a base that has basically no creep protecting it. That can't possibly be good. Nice Widowmine shot hits the Banes. The other one's like, I got him! And then it's like, wait, they're already gone! 6 drones dead as well, as we see some harass down in the bottom right-hand side, continue to find value as well. Things want to get toward those Marauders. 14 Lurkers coming up. Does feel like that may be the slowing or the stopping power that Reynor's been looking for against this Terran army. Just really stop Clem a little bit. Yeah, there's Ghosts already out, but the Lurkers do just provide that much extra power that you don't always get to see. 3 drones dead as just going to see a couple of snipes coming down. At this point, Clem's got to be very careful with how he snipes, looking to try and get rid of some of these Lurkers. Sniping from multiple places, and actually is going to get rid of a whole bunch of them, honestly. Does very well here. Now, Reynor moved up the left-hand side. Clem maybe took a step too far forward here, maybe didn't need to be all the way in the front like this, and maybe that costs him. His Widowmine's not ready, the Banes go off, but he actually keeps a good amount of his army alive, so this might still be okay for Clem. He's got Lurkers counterattack, and they've already forced away a base, and they're obviously looking to break into another here. Units coming through to try and be the heroes of the moment and try and clean out these Lurkers. He loses the vision, he loses the scan. So actually he runs into the Lurkers for a few moments as at the same time top left side base of Clem is kept safe and Reynor cannot find a way to commit into the attack that he was looking for there. So unfortunately that part did not work out. Both showing up to finally push these Lurkers away. At this point, I mean, obviously, pretty fun back and forth game. Resources lost very heavily in favor of Clem. If he can just hold bases and keep on mining, in theory, he should be able to find himself the W in this. But if Reynor can keep Clem to just 5 bases and keep mining himself, then that resources lost doesn't really matter anymore. And that's kind of the game plan of these two. Clem wants just an extra base. One more base alone would probably do it. And you know, then he should be fine. For Reynor, he just wants to make sure Clem doesn't get beyond these bases. And Clem's good news for Clem is that he's never really had any hits to his economy, so his economy has been very consistent throughout all of these fights. Being able to, again, rebuild straight back into units when he's been trading out. SCV's going down. There's going to be some Lings getting in position there, picking their way through that. And Reynol's going to try and get a little bit of a bust on this position. Lurk's in position. Banelin's coming through. 13 SCVs already dead on the top of this attack. Clem actually maybe struggling for supply a little bit. I guess it's mostly just the workers that he lost. He can build 6 SCVs at once. He's getting base down the bottom right. He's actually going to get some ghosts over here to kill a few drones. Deny this base for mine for just a little bit. I mean, obviously, ghosts on their own should be very careful. While they can stand up to a couple of things, they can't stand up to everything. But mine's going to have a chance to pre-split properly here as well, so going to be able to get burrowed without all being in the same place as we saw them before. That obviously was absolutely less than ideal. And still coming through. A few more snipes coming down. The Banes, the Hydras continue on in. Snipe after snipe just continue to drop you as the Ghosts trying to get to live on the tail end of this. Reynor loses a chunk of supply. Going to go down to 160 or so, and honestly not a bad fight from Clem. It's a 20,000 resource loss difference now. It's increasing rapidly. These last few fights from Reynor have just not been good enough. And as Clem gets bases online, that's the one thing I said Reynor really needs to stop from happening. I fear that this game is getting out of hand for Reynor because now he doesn't have the bank that he had anymore, right? So he just doesn't have the position he used to have at all. Top left base is going to have to lift up and relocate, so that's something going your way at least. But mine's Ghosts continue to come on through. 12 drones going down. Is this another big victory here from Clem, right? Especially in a moment like this where Reynor's already got like a very low bank. Being able to actually get through and, you know, break through a few more drones is going to stop Reynor from rebuilding as easily. Clem definitely feeling like he's starting to be on the verge of getting a W in this one. We get a few snipes going down. As this army joined up. As we do have our Ling Lurker back around the top. Well, Clem can't fight it before he gets burrowed. At least the Lurkers will get a chance to play the denial game. Now some snipes do start to come down though. So a few snipes starting to come into play. These Lings are running into mines. Things out a few SCVs. Again, just work you have to get done. It just feels like this might be too late. The game is not over yet though, so definitely still worth fighting over. Don't doubt me on that part. A lot more Hydras and Lurkers on the way up as well. Reynor continue to really lean on these as we do press forward. As Clem is going to... Oh no! Into the hold position! Lurkers! Clem's army is going to start disappearing! Oh, what a move from Reynor. What a way to grab a massive advantage out of pretty much nowhere. That is huge. I mean, it's still a 20k resource loss difference. It may just give Reynor a chance, a bit of momentum in a couple of these fights to really make a difference and really just change things here. So, it feels a bit better at least for Reynor. He was definitely, I think, feel like on the losing end of this the last few moments, but now, yeah, now it's a step in the right direction for him. Like I say, this bit of momentum can go a long way. Clem lost a few ghosts, lost a bit of bio. Getting that back online is not easy. The Lurkers losing themselves to a couple of mines over here as well. As do have the turret going down, and this planetary force will take hits. Clem having to continue to spread out all over the place to try and deal with this. Planetary fortress is being repaired, being kept online. Will not be allowed to fall, and a couple snipes to chase those Lurkers back once more. The Widowmine's still active down there too. I don't think Reynor really noticed those the first time around. It's just so many Lurkers on the top side. There's 19 Lurkers currently on the map, and boy, are they delivering. They're getting so much done. Look at Force is going to get rid of this planetary, so that might be a base of Clem going down that he would have wanted to keep, because that's also basically the stepping stone to the top left base. Reynor is going to maybe lose a base of his own, though. I mean, that is obviously great for Clem when we're talking about him having traded so well here. And Clem can take base for base. In theory, that should be okay for him. He's also trying to take this forward base himself. He doesn't break through, though, and he is forced to lift and leave, and that's, again, going to become kind of expensive when it comes to, you know, noticing what he's lost here. So, again, really not ideal, as we do have these units still trying to press up this ram, still trying to pressure on in. Look, is firing up once again here. As the Lurkers come through, also trying to fight. Let's sit here and chip their way through these SCVs. A lot of SCVs continuing to go down. I mean, I think that Clem is actually going to fall apart now just at the end. Honestly, that Lurker burrow play, that whole position Lurker play was so good. I think it really made the difference. Just shifted momentum when it was needed most. And Clem does not have a way to hold on any longer. GG's. And that is going to be a 2. Yeah, rough start to the series. Obviously loses the TVP, loses the first TvZ. It is going to be Team Liquid's Clem. On the top right, Red Zerg. Gee, I didn't realize he picked Protoss again! It's Reynor. My goodness, he picked Protoss again. I didn't see this at all. Okay, well, back to Protoss it is at a 2-0 lead. Some games in hand. Already won one with the Protoss. Let's see if he can find another. And see what happens for this game number 3. Wonder if it's also server-based as well. He's playing Clem's server preference now. It might be a thing that he genuinely prefers to play Protoss with a bit more ping than he prefers to play Zerg with a bit more ping, right? Like, ZVT is probably the matchup which is most pivotal when it comes to the server preference between Korea and Europe, because, you know, that little bit of ping difference makes a big difference in a matchup that is constantly about quick fights, very high mechanical usage. Protoss just doesn't get as punished by that kind of stuff as well, so we will see. I got a couple of shouts to catch up on just as we come out of the break, guys. Thank you very much to Amstellion, first of all, for the 9-month resub. Welcome back. Bodo de Banan and Gerber, thank you so much for your 20-month resub on the Prime. Vengitron, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs as well. Really appreciate the support. They went out to Grandpa Joe MF, Neo AMD, GSU32, Esper SE2, and DM Moore 1979. Thank you so much, Vengitron, for the generosity. There was also Irene with the 2-month resub on the Prime an hour ago. If you're still around, thank you so much. But otherwise, thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate the support, and let's watch Reynor. 1-base proxy in the top of the map. Let's see what he's going to crank out. Feels like a Stargate. Obviously waiting for the Cybercore a few more moments, and there is the Stargate to give us our confirmation of, at least for now, what this is going to be. Yo, and Aki27, thank you so much for the 9-month resub on the Prime as well. Adept, trying to get the SCV here, trying to shade after it, and just going to be seeing the factory. Is going to be finishing up very soon. And that completed. The Adept does get the SCV, which obviously knows that this is one base at the moment, so Clem is a little wary of what's going on, hence the bunker at the front, that factory. Going to get a Widow Mine immediately. Very good, because a Widow Mine can obviously take down any unit, so typically is just a very good way to get started here. There's the one Zal gets here, but yeah, slight delay. Obviously with the bunker, there shouldn't be too much of an issue. Just CC not able to build for a little while. Clem can build here on the corner for a little bit, and then the SCV gets into the bunker. My goodness, that was very close, because it's already taken the hit that would have killed it from the Zealots. And now we have the Zealot going down, the Adept showing up, and we're going to come back down with the SCV, because he can finish the command center and lift the SCV into it if he needs to save it right now, so that is not going to be a problem. Let's do have our Oracle now showing up into the main. Let's see if this Widow Mine can save Clem. Oh my goodness. The Oracle kind of took a bad route as well, honestly. Like, usually this would have been really bad for the Oracle, but in this case it actually saved the Oracle, because I don't think Reynor really knew the mine was there, and it kind of pulled itself out of mine range initially, so yeah, that was kind of funky. It's going to see a couple of devs getting into the main base as well, so Clem continuing to take some of this damage for the moment at least, so a little bit more damage being taken as we got our Marines still moving up to this top side. Pushing around, getting some damage done. Cyclone gets rid of them, and this will be finally, I think, the end of this Protoss aggression for a little while. Oracle number 3 about to pop. We've expanded behind this. Remember that this did all happen off of one base initially, so Clem is actually okay when it comes to worker count. He's 28 against 28 workers. He's got an orbital, so he's got the extra mule mining. So actually, Clem's pretty okay. This feels like he probably didn't do as much as what Reynor would have liked to have done here early. Even though it kind of felt decent for him. Don't think it was actually all that great, just because it was a one-base commitment initially. So yeah, it definitely makes a difference in how the math works out. Here comes the triple Oracle. Oh, that's a dead Cyclone at least. Yep, commits for it and gets rid of it, which I definitely think is the right call there as well. Just knock that down straight away. Just get that handled. Definitely a decent approach. Now the Oracle does go down to the Widow Mine, but we do find ourselves a few SCVs, at least on the tail end of this, so getting a little bit more damage out of this towards the very end. These two Oracles just chilling out over in this bottom corner, trying to figure out where they are going to want to go next. Why did you choose Protoss on Zerg C? I don't know, Mark. Thank you so much for the 94-month resub. My only guess is that I think he's probably just playing the servers. So he wanted to play he's like, I'm 2-0 up, it's Central server, so I'll play Protoss instead of, and then play Zerg on West again, and then Central last as well if I need to. That's the only guess I have, because I don't really understand the Protoss choice otherwise on this map. Doesn't quite add up, does it? Just not quite all there. Aren't they playing in the same room? No, Clem is not in Korea. Clem is in Europe. Clem is on his way across the map. There's going to be an interesting moment. There's 10 Stalkers, Blink not done. Stim finished here. If he can actually take a fight against these Stalkers which don't have Blink, definitely a lot of potential. But Clem's going to get scared back straight away, and now he's starting to lose units. Going to use the line of sight blocker here. I just don't know if he knows there's no Blink. I feel like if he knew there was no Blink, he would stim into this already, but he doesn't want to waste the stim. So I feel like, yeah, he just can't get as much done as he would like to. He's going to lift one medevac of units away. The other medevac showing up, so he can fight here a bit again. No Blink Stalkers yet. He will now start to stim at those Stalkers as well. They're about to get their Blink, and this medevac does spot the Stargate on its way around the top side. This was, again, just a 2-base Protoss. The third is only just now finishing, so finally getting that chance at least to potentially help out as, again, a couple Stalkers coming through there. Pushing that medevac away. Some Stalkers going to stay aggressive on the other side, but with the Bioforce having the ability to stim already, and combat shields, and about a half +1, it's just not a fight these Stalkers will win. And Clem is going to be able to come through, chase down this Stalker army, get rid of it back through the middle of the map. Medevac still at the top side. Let's see how our Oracle gets in for an SCV kill, so able to take that out. Little Revelation going down. A few units here getting tagged by that and being kept visible for just a little while. As the medevac continues around the top. Bio are going to start coming in here, start to aim for these Stalkers. Start to go after those. A couple extra Stalkers being warped in. Bio army going to show up, and we're going to take this fight for a little bit. I mean, battery is there. As the Widow Mine does go off above the Bio units. This might be enough for Clem to have to seriously think about backing off. He's going to finish off the Stargate now. Yeah, I don't think Clem can really... he at least needs to heal back up, which I guess now he has done, but definitely needed to take a moment or two after getting a Widow Mine shot above his Bioforce. Extra barracks still in production here from Clem, so continue to bring these online. Getting the +1 armor going. Charge at least finishing, so Zealots can be a bit more effective now as Reynor's trying to survive with his current army supply deficit. Pushing forward, Bio trying to trade the Stalkers, trying to stay out of trouble as well. The Marines will just pinch away at the Oracle, so again, work our way through that for a little while. Going to stim forward now, and these Stalkers will continue to take quite a few hits, continue to get pushed back. And just going to be seeing this Bioforce starting to really break into position here on this base, and I love what we're doing. Going to put ourselves on top of this mineral line so we can start to pick through those probes. Another Widow Mine does get burrowed, going to connect on those few Zealots though. And these SCVs want to get forward to try and help out as well. We'll drop down in Nexus, Widow Mine still connecting. And this Bio army still trying to fight. Stalkers, Zealots still being pulled away. Widow Mine kills off this final Oracle, which is trying to get some extra kills at the very end as well. 9 SCVs have died on the side of Clem, but wiping out the third base is typically a very good sign for a Terran player. And that does feel very good here so far for the... on the side of Clem, who is obviously down 2 games, looking to bounce back, get back in this series. He will get this W, and Clem is going to stay alive for the moment. And we will see a map number 4. Clem picks up his in the bottom left-hand corner with the blue Terran player from Team Liquid. This is going to be Clem. Top right, how I read Zerg from Kaizi Gaming. It is Reynor. Back to playing Zerg. First some Protoss, then some Zerg, then some Protoss, then some Zerg. I'd be surprised if he didn't play Zerg for the rest of this series, even if it goes to map 5. Wow! Oh my goodness, what? Hello? Knock knock? Is that Clem? What the? When was the last time we saw Clem Proxy Rax? It is not a common occurrence for Clem to crank out the Proxy Rax. Hello? I want to say I've probably watched Clem Proxy Rax in TvZ. I can probably count it on one hand the number of times I've casted that. That is, that's actually kind of crazy, no? He has got his gas already mining. Is there potential for this to just be Reapers straight away? That could be a possibility. Play Reapers on this very Reaper-heavy, Reaper-friendly map. It makes sense with the position of the barracks as well. I think it's going to be Reapers, guys, instead of Marines, so... Okay. Not quite a Marine proxy. I'm going to send a Reaper forward. SCV comes through, and obviously as Reynor starts to figure this out, he'll maybe have to do some figuring out of his own as to how he wants to really respond to this. Right now, SCV runs away, a couple of drones will chase, and it's just going to be a friendly little run-around game. If it shows up, I'm going to try and bunker the corner as well to give you a position to keep working from. So, very serious about this setup, and we do begin to get it going. Reaper is going to be in and chased around a little bit. Looking for a first Zergling kill. Gets it. Right? Yep. Now, second Reaper shows up. We're not here just yet, as we are going to get a second Ling, and like I say, you're going to have this bunker to hide the Reapers in too, which is really great, because then the Reapers have somewhere they can just hide and start regenerating. And that's actually really useful to have, because it just goes a long way. Helps out massively, so far so good there, as the Reapers do pull back toward said bunker. Grenade goes down, another grenade goes down. Get the Reaper in the bunker, hello! Oh my god. That's terrifying, no? I waited like to the last possible second. I was convinced the Reaper was going to die for absolutely no reason than just not being microed. I mean, we bust through this bunker. That wasn't really all too bad. Obviously, you forced Reynor into a lot of Lings. You forced him to build the Spine Crawler. We have a couple extra Reapers coming through, but we're only just now building our initial expansion. So for Clem, it's definitely getting damage done, even if it isn't directly in the form of drone kills. But it's also costing him in the sense that it didn't expand as quickly as it should have done. So this is definitely one of those builds that doesn't just have like a clear outcome at this point in time. I would say for Reynor, he's probably pretty happy. Clem has, like I say, Reapers in the later CC. But honestly, like, I mean, Reapers can actually still be okay at certain points if they can find a way to sneak across the map and get in a mineral line, or even if they just join up with like a more regular army. There's definitely possibilities of what could happen in those situations. Grenade on the ramp does not do too much. Barracks continue to pull down to the bottom left, going to go land towards the main base. Command wants to take off, land into that natural as well, as the few Reapers will make their way out the front. Those Lings kind of wanted to come in through this bottom side as well, but not really going to find the chance. Honestly, this amount of Reapers is still scary to fight. They do create a lot of map presence. We're not going to opt for a pretty quick Bane nest, all things considered. As he makes more Lings, is there any world in which he tries to do something crazy like a Bane Burst? I don't think so. I just don't understand what he wants the Baneling nest for. Maybe in cases like Reaper Hellbat or something like really crazy. Just feels like a very safe Baneling nest right now. Yeah, he's just gonna morph 5 Banes. I guess just have the Banes to run at the Reapers a bit, put some pressure on and stuff, can still go a long way. Just didn't really feel necessary, I suppose. That's not good, as the little surround comes down here and Clem loses out on a Reaper and 2 Hellions. He did at least have the medevac here, so he could evacuate the remaining Reapers, so it wasn't the worst case scenario, but obviously, yeah, I would have rather just not lost anything at all in this situation, so definitely a little bit worse than he would have wanted it to have been. There's this one Marine going to go chipping away at this Overlord, pushing this away down the bottom side of the map for the moment. Just going to be seen now Reaper Hellion. Still trying to take some position out in the center. I love the spine crawl. Obviously built it earlier, now just in a forward position. Why not make some use out of it, right? Why not get something out of that? That is seemingly the concept we're going for. I really don't hate it. I think may as well put that spine somewhere useful, and it definitely does help to dissuade this Hellion Reaper force from wanting to kind of move through and commit onto that position. I'm going to find this base to the side. At least that's a cancel and a drone kill. That is one Clem. I mean, continuing through with the third CC, he does have +1 attack to start. Is it just one engineering bay? Yeah. So it's kind of aggressive, but with a third CC behind it. I mean, I say kind of aggressive simply for the fact that it's a there is no kind of there's no second engineering bay. Obviously, double engineering bay is usually the more kind of macro-focused way to play things out. My brain just apparently falters, can't get the words out in my mind. Marines going through, gonna grab ourselves a little Overlord kill, get rid of a Baneling. No Baneling speed for a little while still, so no Bane speed just yet. Vivek's gonna hop into the main base, go from there. Lift up, Medivac's pulling away and just going to be evacuated now. A couple of units going to go to the top left side, going to try and get this hatchery over here and snibble through that as well. Just going to see the Lings will continue to the top left, where there's actually going to be a Widowmine connection. First split was decent, second split was actually okay. This really wasn't as bad as it could have been. The Spine Crawler has been here for a while. Set up these grenades. I love that he's trying to actually... Oh my god! The grenade bopped the Banelings towards the mine, so I can only assume that stops you from being able to micro away from that mine shot a little bit. I feel like that possibly actually had some effect, no? Yeah, that Reaper grenade was actually pretty good. I was going to say, Clem is someone who will continue to utilize these Reapers as well, right? Like, he will use every ability that he can on them if given the opportunity. Clem. In the top left, he's going to have another mine that doesn't do too much here. He's going to have one now, which doesn't do too much either. We come on forward, get a queen. Clem just going to kind of trade in this main base with the Reapers and stuff. Until Ling Bane shows up, he may as well try and take down some of these queens right now. Take away some of the injects, take away some potential creep spread at some point. He's actually getting rid of quite a few of these queens. And now the Lings show up. And honestly, look at the queens he got rid of. I really don't mind that. Medevac escapes from the upper left-hand side. Hydra Den is going to be popping in a few moments as well, so we'll be getting that out as a couple of Medevacs continue to be chased away right there. Widowmine is starting to burrow up. Again, Widowmine is doing pretty decently. I mean, Reynor's trying to split against a lot of them, but some of them do just find good enough connections. Reynor currently only has 6 lava, so money in the bank that he can't currently spend, and you know, we go back to those queens being attacked. That actually might be one of the impacts, right? Missing some injects and stuff. Clem keeping this busy around the map is definitely finding value, as we will see Reynor try and get a 5th up on the right side. Clem pressuring this 4th base, and if this 4th base drops, then Clem is going to be feeling very, very good about life right now. We've seen another Widowmine trying to retarget a little bit, trying to figure out where to go. It's going to be seen Bioforce stemming up a storm, the Ling Bane coming through. You see how Overseers are just about alive still. And this Queen's still trying to fight. Hydra's, Lings, Banes still wanting to move into this at the moment, as we are going to be seeing the Marines still trying to fight on forwards. So the Widowmine goes off, hits a single Zerg, and the Marines holding this position, but Reynor is just doing well enough to keep this from really becoming too much of a problem. So credit to Reynor, because this was not going to be easy. Clem was really starting to focus everything just in one place to try and get the W, but yeah, Reynor holds the position. He keeps the base alive when he absolutely needed to. If that base died, this game would probably be over. Obviously, it's not over yet. This pressure still continues, but he is now at least about to have that right side 5th base up as well, and that should make a pretty major difference here too. I'm still pushing up. Can he actually break through this? Upgrade dead even at the moment, but Clem is not far from finishing +2 attack, which will help him try and push through this Zerg army a little bit. Bioforce going back out the front. Hydra's taking some damage. These Hydras hold on. Again, it is just Hydras. There's no Hive in play, so we are a long way off getting to Lurkers, especially Lurkers with good upgrades, right? So that's just not really going to happen. That's obviously very good for Clem. He can just continue kind of producing bio. Love the addition of a Liberator as well. Even if you're not going to be up against Lurkers, Liberators just to help zone out anything at this stage of the game can be great. It's expensive for Hydras to run through Liberation zones and stuff, so... yeah, looking very good in that regard as Valiants continue to trade out well. A few Zerglings continue to stroll on through. Continuing in this direction as we still have bio on the other side as well. Liberator is going to get set up also, try and make something of a difference here. Let's just got our Bioforce still out on the left side to try and help maybe push up in towards this hatch. Eventually, Clem has been pushed back 2-2 right now, but Reynor about to finish his +2 carapace. Clem actually having to bring his army from the right side back as well, so everything regathering here for a few moments. Clem don't add tanks into play. I mean, especially against the Hydra, it's good to really just sit in a position and zone a certain area. So, going to utilize those tanks, and tanks and mines combined is very scary because you want to split against the mines, but you kind of just want to run in and swarm the tanks. So, if Clem can get those sieged up, it can just add a little bit of a complication to how Reynor might be approaching these engagements. Right now, though, we have a fight in the middle of the map. The tank is unsieged in a bad place, unfortunately. So that tank really is not going to gain too much. Clem standing and fighting right now. Still no +2 melee upgrade on the side of the Zerg as the Banelings are going to try and push through this. The last little bit of bio in the center is going to have to fall away. And Clem, I believe, is going to end up losing this fight. The extra Bane's coming through. I mean, he turns and fights, he steps a little bit. Reynor, obviously no bank left for him right now. He's been able to spend that throughout this. Neither player is going to be maxed out. Clem is getting extra CCs online. Like, he's really getting into a good later game spot. There's moments like this are kind of scary. Infestation pit starts, so Reynor even seeing this as a chance for him to tech up a little bit and says, yeah, actually for me, this is my chance to kind of get back in this game because it has been a little bit slow going at points. Bioforce continue to chase through. The Banes and the Hydras are being pushed away immediately. I was building some Cyclones. I can't help but feel that maybe is not the intention. I feel like the Cyclones are misclick. Maybe it was meant to be like Liberators of a starport or so. Usually they share a hotkey if I'm not mistaken, so... yeah, that's a little bit of an odd one. Some Cyclones on the way out. They just don't really do anything in this scenario. I don't know what, again, we could really be hoping to do with them, so... yeah, not quite convinced on that one. Let's see how Hydras will take down some rocks. I haven't really talked about Clem's base being denied because they haven't really been denied all that much, right? He's just not been moving to them. Now is the time as he wants to probably look towards getting a 5th base where Reynor will want to try and deny that and really try and take down some economy if he wants a good shot at this game. So definitely something to be thinking about for sure. Lingbane Force continues through, whacking through this Bioforce, and this is a lost fight for Clem. Well, Clem's overall army supply is still decent, but again, fights like this are just not really doing it for him at all. I do imagine that, yeah, I mean, I look at this and I do kind of imagine, I'm like, well, I suppose, right, like, you want to push and stop the Zerg getting a hive, but I feel like really the pushes are just not working. He's getting caught in bad fights. So if he wants to really win this, I think it's time to just say, okay, let the Zerg attack into me if anything. Otherwise, be happy that I can take bases and just go from there. Now, yeah, that means that the Zerg gets access to these lurkers, which you've done a great job of keeping him off of, but sometimes you just have to cut your losses and say, okay, he's doing enough to just punish me for trying to stop him getting there. Let's just let him get there. Let's play that next stage of the game. May not be what you want to be playing, but yeah, like I say, that's StarCraft 2 sometimes, right? And Hydra here shouldn't do too much. That's what I mean. As soon as this becomes a defensive fight for Clem, it's absolutely amazing. You've got tanks in position, a minable zone. Not really anything you can do, right? So, yeah, it's just got a little question mark in amongst it. Another tank gonna come and take position. Clem gets that bottom right base set up, and I think I said he was for a while there was a bunch of CCs up at the same time, or building at the same time, so I imagine that is something which you'll want to continue building for. He's actually starting to push up this right side, so this protects his bottom right base while also giving him the fight toward this Zerg hatchery. Still a split army scenario. He still has an army to the left, as does Reynor. Reynor's going to take the fight here. Blinding Clouds to start setting up. We hit majority of the tanks with those Blinding Clouds. They are going to be slowed down a lot. Going to minimize the damage taken on those, from those. Clem's going to find the right side base, or is he? He has to back away for a moment too. He'd love to just finish that off, right? It's such low HP. Problem is, Reynor now probably says, I can collapse on this army over here, bring my force from the left side over to the right, collapse on this and get W. But Clem, I think, was very smart about how he approaches. He finishes off the base, he lets the tanks kind of just do some tanking, and then he just uses the Bioforce and falls back towards other tanks that are in a safe position. He's going to deny the 9 o'clock base that Reynor set up. He never really mined from that. That should be Clem's base. Obviously, Reynor would love to just mine a little bit from it, take some of the resources of Clem away. I was going to see some ghosts rallied the wrong way. 4 ghosts in trouble. Oh my god, the cloak saves them. No Overseer nearby. It's about a 10k resource loss difference right now. 11k to be exact. It's obviously a pretty huge deal. Lots of resources currently just in the bin from Reynor, and that's why he needs to try and outmine Clem, and that's why if Clem gets these bases up, this will become more troubling for Reynor, and it definitely feels like we're starting to head into just a much more troubling situation. Zerg, who has, again, had some good moments in this game. Definitely has turned around a couple situations as well. Just gonna get over here, recancel the base, get a few drones as we go. Both players going to be maxed out right now. Reynor a little bit shy of it, I suppose. He's already losing a few units. A few Lings diving on top of these tanks and seeing what they can do, as he is going to try bust down the left-hand side. This is his moment to try and make a play. Bay and Hydra Viper moving back to the north. It's going to drop down a Nidus network already, get that started in the main base. Start to unload a few of these units. Bioforce will come through. That Nidus is going to get shot down. It's going to be seeing these Hydras. A little bit of trouble as a few Banes continue to crash on in. A few Snipes are going to line up as well. It's going to get rid of the Overseers. More value for Clem. Overseers are not cheap to be rebuilding fight after fight. And getting 3 of them really does add up. No 3 o'clock, no 9 o'clock. Both of those bases of Reynor have been denied. And that means he's just stuck on 5 bases, and it's just not good enough to fight against a Terran player when you're this far behind in trades. 14k behind. You just need bases over the Terran, and you just don't have that. And that's where this game is going to fall apart for Reynor. That's why we are going to be seeing Clem, I think, taking this to a 5-game series. Don't think there's really a way out of that right now. Lucky Cujo, thank you so much for the 25-month resub. Welcome back. Lurk is still fighting down the corner. Bioforce trying to move forward. Getting abducted on a Marine. A few ghosts wanting to come through as well. I mean, Clem just taking this base really would be a nail in the coffin. If you can actually mine from this base of the Terran, that's just so little hope left then for the Zerg. Tropical Sacrifice would be map 5, would be Clem's server preference though. You got a snipe down on a initial lurker. Things get chased way up that right side. All of these ghost marines around the left as well. Let's see another lurker on the way out. For the moment, at the very least. Comes this army of Reynor. Now down to the bottom side. Marines and Ghosts continue to push the left. I like this from Reynor. I mean, if there's anything you can really do right now, I guess, running in between your opponent's bases and just giving it a last one big fight kind of effort. You know, never mind defending anymore. It's not being going well enough. He's got these lurkers. He's got some Vipers. I mean, this initial fight starts well because the unexpected factor of it is definitely hitting Clem hard. Suddenly, Clem loses his natural. Potential to lose a lot of his production in the main. He's going to try and set up tanks here, but the Link should already be streaming in. Some Ghosts find some snipes on Vipers, but yeah, that's the Link streaming in. Lurks on top of the production, so all of a sudden, there's actually a situation which could be pretty okay for Reynor. His supply is starting to lack a little bit. He needs to stop these Ghosts from getting the snipes off on his Lurkers, and oh my goodness, Clem just walked all of his Ghosts into the Lurkers! No! No, 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 if you're a Clem fan, this is disastrous. This is the last thing you wanted to see happening here. Oh my goodness, that was bad. Is Clem in trouble still? Lurker's still pushing up over here. Going to get on top of this siege tank. Or maybe just corner those Ghosts. I mean, again, Clem's production is in this main base. So any of his producing units are currently just being shut down. A Ghost gets left behind, make it a second as well as it just popped out. I think Clem's losing the game, guys. Those Ghosts walking down the ramp was so painful. Oh my goodness. Reynor with this one massive attack through the center, looking as though he's going to make it through to that round 2 of the winner's bracket. Absolutely, my goodness. That is kind of crazy. Is it enough, truly? I mean, Clem's army supply is just not there. He is getting some production down this bottom side. He's got a couple tanks. But the thing is now, Reynor actually takes away so much because he's going to get rid of the mining in the bottom right as well. So that's also going to be a pretty serious factor. Finds another siege tank again. Just any unit right now is going to be huge. Lone Infestor. Chilling. Haven't really seen much of the Infestors, right? There we go. Lurker's pushing through. What a move from Reynor. I mean, honestly, even with the move, I felt like Clem was going to be okay, but he just lost all of the Ghosts walking down the ramp. That little bit of miss micro, I think really is what cost him the most. You could argue that is obviously just due to the fact that Reynor got up in the main and then Clem's trying to click different places, and the chaos definitely caused him to make a mistake, and a very costly one. Another tank that's trying to rally from the bottom side of the map here. It's taken down, and Reynor just slowly, systematically winning this game with this group of Lurkers. Shutting down, mining elsewhere. There is the bottom right base, which Clem also has a couple tanks on, etc. Reynor just going to say, yeah, play this slowly. No need to go rushing into this right now. This is just going to be fun if I just play it slow, take it easy, continue through. Tank shots going off. One hits an EMP, but it hits the Viper now on the second attempt. First one missed. Planetary Fortress here trying to help you hold as the Lurkers get in. The Planetary will die. These few Ghosts going to hold up this mineral line. We're going to get some more snipes off on these Lurkers as... well, we continue to push through, guys. We're going to force the medevacs to lift up and retreat with the units. His base will be broken down. Army supply 66 to 49. Genuinely quite close still, despite everything that's been going on. Reynor, his mining is still limited, remember, as well. Like, resources lost is starting to go in Reynor's favor because he's killed a lot of infrastructure, but, you know, he's genuinely not got a lot of resources left to work with. Like, this army is so important. I mean, let's see if he can make it work with this army. He loses a lot of links here for free. He's just got 10 patches over here. On the left side, he's got very few patches coming online. Obviously, Clem doesn't have much in the bottom corner either. Still a need for Reynor to be cautious. Still a need for him to be at least a little bit careful amongst all of these fights. Just be, like I say, cautious, careful about it all. Slings, Hydras, Lurkers pushing through. Ghosts going to be taking some shots. Tanks continuing to get taken down. This is a fight from Reynor, which is a brave one to take. I mean, he's going to start getting sniped now from the Ghost, although they're low energy. Lurker moves forward, gets a shot off towards the Ghost, pushes them away. Hydra's looking to hunt down this orbital command. SCVs will try and repair it, so the Hydra will just try and go for the SCVs. Just trying to kill off anything possible here as it looks like the orbital will get to live for a few moments. Reynor 44 to 30 army supply. Again, income is so similar. It's just about in favor of Reynor, but really only just. Match on the left side gets set up. The medevac's gonna go split a little bit. Tanks fire. Lurker gets taken down. Ling gets picked off. Oh, what a fungal growth from the ghost. Oh, and the Lurkers hit them too. Oh my goodness, that Lurker shot just managed to come through. That didn't feel like it was going to be there. Oh, and Clem, obviously that's just, again, just too expensive to really recover from given the way that things are going right now. So, Reynor getting this left side base, mining for himself, is probably going to seal the deal here on inside and out. He will get to play Spirit in the winners match. And, of course, Clem will fight a laser in the losers bracket a bit further on today. We are going to play the winners bracket first, guys. It was a request from the players. So we will be playing that winners bracket first. That'll be Reynor versus Spirit, and then a laser Clem after. A full day of TvZ, it would seem. Unless Clem decides to crank some more Reynor decides to crank some more Protoss out during his TvZ, perhaps. Because we've also got Ragnarok and TvZ at the end of the day as well, so even more TvZ line in wait for us a bit further down the line. Viper, Investor, can get sniped down. Reynor now at a 40 army supply lead. That's an advantage he just wasn't really getting before because of the, before mentioned situation. Widowmine's here doing pretty good. The initial Widowmine shots are decent. Yeah, with the extra economy being online, Reynor's just almost always going to have the economy that he needs at this point to actually get an army up and actually to fight this. But I'm trying to take a few SCVs over here, just take mining wherever possible on this map at the moment. He will take anything he can get given to him. Absolutely anything. Things look as Hydra's still hanging around. Clem obviously wants to stay in this because I feel like until now actually it was actually not too bad to stay in this because obviously Reynor had very limited mining. Now Reynor has the 9 o'clock base. Clem just scans, wants to see what's up. Clem Reynor having that 9 o'clock base just gives them the money to really build up extra army and actually make this not close anymore. And GG's is going to be called. As Reynor just didn't have a lot to end the game with. I mean, we look at the army supply, right? It's just barely more for the last couple minutes, but obviously eventually that extra income kicked in. Once that extra income kicked in, that army just got so much bigger that that's when Clem really can't survive any longer. GG's. Damn, some serious